Hey everyone, how we doing today? This is James Sweeney, aka SplitSuit. Welcome back to another video. And as part of the Ask SplitSuit a Question series, a bunch of people ask hand history questions, and today's question comes from David. And David just wants me to review this live poker hand. So let's check it out. Okay, so this hand is from a 2-3 live game. There's a open limp, there's a small raise, and Hero decides to 3-bet, and he 3-bets to 27. So this is the kind of situation where I would much prefer Hero 3-bet significantly larger. I'm definitely happy that we're 3-betting. I definitely want to be doing that. But when you only go to 27 here, you're laying your opponent a pretty great price and you're giving him position. Both of those things are usually things I don't want to do together, particularly when there's a lot of play left, and when I could easily charge him more preflop. Now, there's no information given about the main villain or the other villain for that matter, but typically this is a spot where I'm just going to go up to something like 45 or 50 bucks and play forward from there. And yes, that may seem egregiously large considering he only went to 3x, but he went to 3x in a situation where he should have gone larger himself. And two, I don't play into this game, right? They go small because when a 3-bet comes in, it typically comes in smaller as well, which then gives them more ability to get involved with it. I want to say, no. If you want to get involved with me, that's fine, but you're going to pay a premium to do so. And this is a situation where, again, I'd much prefer to see the larger size happen for pure value, and we'll just go forward from there. But as played, we only go to 27, get a caller, get another caller. So the flop is an interesting one, giving us overcards and a flush draw, but it's extremely connected. And Hero decides to continuation bet for 25 bucks. So in this situation, I'd say you have two different options. You could, one, continuation bet for something like 70 or 75 bucks and then rip turns when it's about a pot size or left on the turn. Or two, you could try to go for a check raise here. I don't think betting 25 is going to be a good option, because if you get called, you're going to be in awkward land a lot on the turn. If you get raised, okay, you're in a situation where you pretty much have to commit, but your 25 bet didn't really do anything and just, again, creates kind of this awkward situation. So, again, this is another spot in the hand where bet sizing seems to be an issue. So, David, I would definitely say maybe spend a little bit of time thinking about your bet sizing strategy, because yes, I know you're curious about how to handle the rest of this hand, but honestly, bet sizing is a huge factor when it comes to playing anything, but especially live games. And if you're making inaccuracies in your bet sizing, trust me, it's going to hurt. So as played, we end up getting called, end up facing a raise, and here we are. And David's real question at this point is, do we just call this? Do we shove it? What goes into this? And it's a pretty fair question. It's a little bit uncomfortable because is there really any fold equity? Yes or no? It's a little awkward. So what I want to do is take a moment and show you how to proof this mathematically. Now, this is all stuff you do away from the table, and when you do enough of these calculations off table, you start to get a general feel for it when you're in real time. So in this situation, I'm just going to use my custom spreadsheet. You can download this if you're interested. I'll leave a link in the description box. And we already pre-populated most of the important information. Pot size before we shove is 258. How much more when we shove is 268. Awesome. And we have to call $100 more. So the only two things left are what's our equity when called and does villain ever fold, yes or no. So let's proof our equity first. So here we have ace king of hearts, we have the board, and now we have to assign a range. And this is the range of hands that our opponent would raise the flop to 125 and would call our shove with. So I think it's reasonable to say sets are in that range. Let's say that you could have the nuts. I think that's totally reasonable. Let's say top pair, top kicker, totally reasonable. Let's say the combo draws like jack 10 and 10-9. Let's also maybe do like a king 10, maybe just a king 10 suited, maybe an ace 10 suited too. Sure. So that factors in some of those like overcard and two-way straight draw kind of things. And maybe we're throwing a couple suited connectors just for the heck of it. Doom. Suit selection, throw hearts on those, good to go. And evaluate, and you notice that we have 44% equity. Awesome. So you notice that as played, assuming that there's even no fold equity whatsoever, this is still fine. So if he ever folds, let's say he raises something like king 10, and then if you shove, he randomly decides to hit the fold button. Well, if that's the case, your equity goes down a little bit, but then all of a sudden there's hands in villain's range that he's then folding, so then all of a sudden you're getting that extra fold equity bonus, which is fantastic. So this is just a situation where, yeah, I'm just going to shove here. Certainly not going to fold my grip of equity. I'm not going to call and then try to like shove turns. I don't see that doing anything good. I'm not going to call and then fold to a turn rip because I don't want to do that. So it's just the kind of situation where I don't really have any option that I'm like thrilled with other than shoving. So shove it is and just ride the variance train and go from there. And in this situation, we end up running into exactly the nuts. And you know what? It just is what it is. This is all factored into the equity, into the EV. It just simply is what it is. We don't panic about it. We just ride the variance train. We'll win this our fair share. Other times we'll lose, but you know what? It just is what it is. We're not going to panic about it. This is not a situation to freak out about, I assure you. So David, thanks for the great hand. And if you or anyone else has a poker-related hand or question, feel free to send it to me directly at splitsuit.com/send. That will take you directly to my hand Dropbox, and you can leave me any hand or question you have directly in there. In the meantime, if you have any questions, please don't hesitate to let me know. Otherwise, good luck out there and happy grinding.